I think we've all done this. If you've not done it, good for you. You're a saint. We're talking about gossiping about something or someone at the office. But is dishing the dirt getting in the way of your work? Sam Chapman actually found a way to ban gossip at his office. He is the author of the No Gossip Zone, and he is CEO of Empower Public Relations. Sam, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I've never worked in a place where there's been no gossip. I'm very curious how you managed to solve this issue. But it, at the same time, can be instructive to people because you learn maybe what's going on. At the same time, it can be hugely harmful to the dynamic of any office place, right?
Yes, well, I think there are a lot of managers who use gossip to manage, and they don't realize the sort of bad taste it leaves in everyone's mouth. So it's really important for the leader to embrace any sort of gossip reduction program. And at my firm, we came up with a way to do away with it.
Well, let me play the devil's advocate for the leader, because oftentimes the leader has to impart really specific instructions towards a certain employee. That employee walks away interpreting it in some way, shares that with a coworker, and then the story becomes slightly distorted and turns into gossip. Something that was well-intentioned becomes gossip.
Right. Well, that employee should return to the boss's office to clear it up. I don't think going to another employee is the way to go, but it's important to notice that for us, gossip is something negative set outside of the presence of its subject. So assuming that what we're talking about is something negative about the boss, that's gossip, and that shouldn't be shared with another employee. That should either be kept to herself or returned to the boss's office for some authentic communication.
So because it is so commonplace, and virtually everybody does it to a greater or lesser extent, overcoming it seems to me to be a really difficult challenge.
Well, it's important there are two kinds of gossip. One about public figures, and I'm not talking about doing away with Us Weekly or not being able to make fun of politicians or criticize them. I'm talking about in small communities, like our school classrooms, like our churches, synagogues, like an office, where we stop gossiping about each other and about our clients. So it's a very constricted group, but it's a 9-to-5 day, and we've agreed that we can still talk about Britney Spears, just not about each other behind our backs.
Right. So what is the strategy?
Well, the strategy is sort of tattling, if you will. If someone says something negative outside of the presence of the person they're talking about, we say, hey, that's gossip, and invite them to go tell what they said. And the person who called it gossip also has an obligation under our compact to follow up and make sure the whole story was told. So by simply outing the story, we call it completing, going back to the source, the person who was gossiped about has a chance to defend themselves, if you will, or clear the record.
And what if you don't know the source of the gossip?
Well, I mean, whoever said it is the source.
Okay.
So whatever you heard about someone who wasn't present, the source is who said it. And if they say, well, someone else told me, then it should trickle back and they should go say it as well.
Is there any one kind of gossip which is especially destructive?
Yes, I think the marital gossip is especially destructive. It feels like the worst sort of violation if people are impugning the integrity of your marriage, that sort of thing. Plus, there's a horrible reputation that goes along with cheaters, and that can impact your work reputation as well. People really don't love a cheater. So that's the most hurtful kind. But there are other things. You know, whenever you're being gossiped about at the workplace, there's a chance it could impact your ability to pay the tuition bills and to pay the mortgage. People are messing with your career, and that can be serious stuff. And in schools, it's a huge problem. We had children commit suicide last year over gossip and rumors.
Especially in the day of the internet where people post things on Facebook and things of that sort. Teenagers can be especially ruthless, I think.
That's right. The social networking and the internet have made these things go viral. And so where it used to take weeks for something to spread, now it can spread in days. In fact, there was a lawsuit launched by a mother just the other day. Some children had taken out a Facebook profile in her son's name and were saying very impolite sexual things about other students. And so she actually launched a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit.
I'm curious what you think about this strategy. I had a very close mentor once who I went to after I had someone had told me something about me in the office, and I said, where'd you hear that? Well, somebody told me, and it hurt me a lot. And I called this close friend, and this mentor said, a wise workplace expert, said, Doug, go back into work tomorrow morning. Forget about it, because they're not worried about Doug McKelway. They're worried about what people are saying about them. I
That's
found that
true.
to be immensely comforting.
That's true. I think people gossip because they're insecure about themselves, and they believe that if they make someone else look bad, they're going to look great. By contrast, and it's wrong. I think that when gossip occurs, it hurts the gossiper and the gossipee.
And the functioning of the office.
Absolutely. Since we created the No Gossip Zone at Empower, our business has doubled each year.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So it's a strategy that can be employed. Is this something that needs to be put in writing?
It is not in writing at my firm, but I think that it depends on your community. At a school, it would be great to put it in writing. I think at a larger corporation, it would be appropriate to put it in writing where they function with contracts. But I have all at-will employees, and they serve at my pleasure, so I can fire them for whatever I want.
And in your workplace, is your book recommended, or is it required reading?
Well, not only is it required reading, but we also do other self-help books. Eckhart Tolle's books are required reading, and I think being conscious in the workplace is really the best safety guard from harassment or discrimination or any of the stuff that goes on at work that's so harmful.
Right, right. So you found that it has made a tangible improvement in your place of work?
It has monetarily, and I feel so much better. People are more friendly. We're very clean with each other. Authentic communication is what replaces gossip.
Can't go wrong with that. It's called the No Gossip Zone. Sam Champion is the author. Sam, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about that.
Great to be
Appreciate
here.
it. Coming up next, why some ladies aren't listening to what their man is saying. The author of the book, Ladies Listen Up, is here with some sound relationship advice for you. And if you want to weigh in on relationships or office gossip, just head to our website, letstalklive.tv. We'd love to hear from you. Back with more right after this.